Okay, everybody. This is going to be the process videos that I promised you. I'm going to have to do them in 3 parts because Capture and I are in the middle of a divorce and I don't have enough storage to kind of like put that much together, and it would be like 45 minutes long. So I'm going to do it in 3 parts. The first one, which is going to be this one, is going to be about how I do my layout, like how I pick it, how I plan it, all the photos, that kind of stuff, like where I decide what goes where. The second video is going to be all about embellishments, the pens I use for journaling, how I pick all that kind of stuff from the paper and all of that. Then number 3 is going to be a walkthrough of what the final layout and the final, like, I guess what the finished product looks like would be the best way to describe it. Like what this looks like now, like what I did yesterday. So this is video number 1. Okay, so how do I pick a layout would be the question. So I pick a layout based on, do I get to pick a new page or am I working with the backside of an older layout? So in this case, I'm doing a little bit of both. So I'm using the back of my Design A from Becky Higgins, and I picked a new layout of Design F from Becky Higgins. I picked this layout based off of the fact that I've used Design A and only Design A up until this point, and I was just getting sick of it. A lot of times I pick based off the photos that I have. If I have ones that would look better as a 4x6 or ones that would look better as a 3x4, what do I need? Based off that. So in this case, I picked Design F, which is a 4x6 at the top, and then 3x4s all the way down. Now in this case, I kind of did a modified situation where I put a pocket page over top of the 3x4 cards. And how I did that is Snap actually sells these, and they have like a sticky side, and you peel it off like a sticker and then you stick it on. I did have to hole punch it obviously for it to go there. Someone in the craft world needs to create a hole punch for that, because I used just like a handheld like squeeze one and it turned out ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So I'm going to make a recommendation to somebody in the craft world to create that for me. Okay, so that's how I pick my layout. Moving on. I'm going to scoot this out of the way and bring in my handy dandy iPhone. I'm using my old iPhone, which is pretty much an iPod now, to film the video, just to make it super easy for me to show you guys what tools I use in a day-to-day life. So I use the Project Life app, and I went through in a video a while back ago about the Project Life app and how it works and just some fun stuff you can do with it if you want to use it as a planning tool. Not necessarily you're switching over to the dark side of the digital world, you just want to use it for planning. So in my case, I go into the layouts. You actually can pick different layout colors, and you can pick your layouts down here. Now, if I really did want to go really true to planning, I could use Design F, but to do that I would have to buy the extra layouts packet for 99 cents, and I just don't see me using any of these other layouts. So I really didn't feel like it was worth the $1, because for how I did this layout, I didn't need to really buy it. So I used Design A, and then you have this nifty little thing in the Project Life app where you can create a collage. So you can also pick what size or layout you even want for your collage. So in this case, I picked a 4x6 card that was split into 2 3x4s. To do my 4x4 photos, I actually use this layout right here. And I either leave this blank or I print little like Instagram sizes, I guess is what it's called. And if I want to put them on my fridge or something, or clip them to the big pretty boards I have behind my couch, I can do so with the little 2x2s. So that's how the 4x4 photos get done. But I make a collage, and then I put the collage into the main layout like this. Like ideally this would be a collage together and it would go up there or something like that if I needed it. In this particular case, I'm going to be using that space for journaling, so I won't actually, I just left it blank because I won't need it. But just to know that you do have that collage tool, and you can put a photo on one side and journaling on the other if you want to. There's lots of different options. So you can still use the original design A to plan for F, if that makes sense. Which is what I did. So this is my finished product of my layout planning. I went ahead and put this 4x6 card here because ideally when it's all closed up, you're not going to know that you can flip it back and see 3x4 cards. So I wanted to make sure it looked very cohesive and I liked how it looked. So once I finish this part, I know what pictures I need to print. Another thing to take into account is if you have not just photos that you want to scrapbook or Project Life or Smashbook, whatever, you need to take into account that you're obviously going to have stuff. You're going to have memories, receipts, tags, clippings, random wrappers, stuff like that. So in this case, I have a receipt from the Candy Cauldron, which is where I get all of my apples in downtown Disney, and it's just part of our traditions. And then I have my number for my audition. So, oh please, Lord have mercy, do not get stuck and do not rip. That's all I ask for in this world. So you have to kind of take that into account as well. Now I'm going to show you guys where I actually place all this and all that. So yeah, like I said, you create your collages and all of that jazz, and then you get them printed, and then you bring them home. You round off the corners, cut them up, do what you need to do. Because like with this one, this is the 4x4. I had to cut off, and you can still see a little bit of the orange if you look really close. Because it will really print that in orange, just so you know. You want to cut it down and then round off the corners. So I wanted to put curl here, me and my big giant apple here, and my little Broncos logo there. Then I put Alfie and his snacks right there, and then this here, and then this is going to go up here. And then this photo I'm going to set off to the side because that's going to be where the 4x6 pocket is. Sorry, I'm going to scoot this closer to me. Sorry, I'm still trying to get this sticker off the receipt off to the side one-handed, and this is posing a very interesting problem. Ah, yeah, I got it off. Okay. So I'm putting the tag there. I think a piece of my hair is actually stuck to it, which is causing issues too. I shed like a German Shepherd, I kid you not. So I wanted my tag to go right there. I'm going to just kind of set it there because it is very sticky, so it doesn't fall off during your performance. And then I wanted my little receipt to go in this bottom corner. So that was how I figured out that. Now, as far as how I pick the paper or what's going to go where, let's backtrack. Let's not even talk about paper right now. So, sorry, I'm reaching every direction. So if all of a sudden the camera just turns and looks like I'm a weeble wobble, it's because I'm leaning over. This is how I decide what kind of journaling paper or space I need for that. I write down everything I want to talk about in a layout. Everything. And I write it on Post-its, and then I post the Post-its where I want to talk about that, so that once I know where I want it all, I know what kind of card I need, if that makes any sense. So starting at the bottom, quarter life crisis. That's kind of what we referred to my entire January. I literally was burnout after holiday. I can't even describe how burnout, and I just needed to change. So I'm actually going to put that on the back of the 4x6 photo. So that goes at the bottom left-hand corner. So I'm going to set that Post-it off to the side because I already knew what I wanted to do with it. Traditions. Like I said, that's where I always go to get my apple. And there's other traditions that Alfie and I take part in. We do our best to recreate all the things that we did our very first trip to Downtown Disney, and that was just, it's something that means a lot to me, and maintaining those traditions is something that means a lot to us. So I'm actually going to put that next to the receipt underneath all of our food from Bongos, which is part of our tradition. My mom and I say this to each other. I think it came off a stamp or something, but Lulu is a frog that wears a tutu. If you've ever seen that stamp in like a Hobby Lobby, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we always say that she dreams of being a ballerina and that she'll never let anyone dull her twinkle. So whenever things aren't going our way or whatever, or we feel like nervous about anything, we just kind of use our Lulu quote. So I'm going to put that underneath my number because I needed it. Audition experience in retrospect. Obviously, I wanted to put that in there because it was a huge chunk of, it was the reason we went, but I also wanted to be able to look back and know how I felt. So I wanted to put that next to my number. I wanted a Walt Disney quote. So I'm going to put that up there. And then that's how that all gets picked out. So the blank spaces are where I can put filler cards. Like, ta-da! Where I can put journal cards or like this kind of thing is actually what I probably should have ta-da'd. So, ta-da! This is actually one of my Studio Calico cards, and I really liked it, and since it was dated for January, I knew I had to get it in this layout somehow. So I'm going to keep that right there, is where that little guy is going to go. Then, I also have this little guy. What a trip. Which, if this were not a trip to document, I don't know what is. Plus, the gray kind of went with everything, so that goes there. That card, as well as these 3 cards, all came from the Snap, I think Magic Moments, what is it called? It's called something. I'll get the name of it for you again and put it in the next video, but it's Magic something that I remember, but it's their Disney edition by Snap. Sorry, I'm not holding my camera very well right now. It's the Disney theme stuff from Snap, and you can buy it on Simon Says Stamp, scrapbook.com. I got mine at Archivers when it was still open in Atlanta before they shut down last year. I think it was last year, and I still had some left over. I have a Disney drawer that I keep everything in because I go to Orlando once, if not twice a year, to do with Disney related stuff. So I always have to keep a Disney drawer full or open to put new stuff in. These guys are going to be the journaling cards that I use for traditions. They are the ones that I'm going to use for the audition experience. And this is going to go on the back of the 4x6 little flip card that's down there.